Hello everyone. So tonight I want to talk about tips for Sitecore Symposium 2017, but this will also be useful for other Sitecore conferences in the future. But some of the tips are specific to this event. If you're not aware, Sitecore Symposium starts in a week from today, runs through I believe the 16th through the 19th of October. So for those of you who haven't purchased tickets yet, I believe they still have open seats and open tickets that you can buy. But obviously time is running out. So if you haven't done so already, one tip I have is let's go ahead and just purchase your tickets. You won't regret it because it's really an awesome experience. I actually went to Sitecore Symposium last year in New Orleans, and it was an awesome event. It was my first one, and I definitely didn't regret it. So some of the tips I have is based off that conference and some of the theories and thoughts I have on what this next symposium is going to be like. So my first tip is meeting people. So this is kind of the most important part about going to any of these conferences. If you're a client or some sort of person that is working with Sitecore and you have maybe a partner that builds your site or something along those lines, it's still important to meet and kind of talk to other partners or even other MVPs or things like that you can get kind of insightful information about Sitecore that you wouldn't necessarily get from your partner directly. Not to say that I work for a partner currently, but not to say that we're going to go and steal you away from your current partner. It's just that you can get a lot of cool information about Sitecore from everybody that's there. So even if you end up talking to somebody that is in the same boat as you, they might have had a different experience with Sitecore than you have. So there's a lot of opportunity to just network, connect, and you might find that there is another partner or organization that you want to work with. Maybe it's a third party like LionBridge, for example. They do translation technology. That's something your current partner probably doesn't provide, and you might find that working with LionBridge is useful for you. That's kind of the essential parts. I would say that it's very important that you go to all the different events. There's a developer day or pre-symposium thing. I went to it last year. I did it on Helix and Habitat. It was very, very useful course that I took. It's actually the main reason I now am able to do Helix topics on my YouTube channel. So definitely check those out if you can, if you're available on that Monday. I know a lot of people won't get there till the welcome reception, which is in the evening. But if you can, if at all possible, if your company can sponsor or whatnot, go to those developer days. I know they usually cost money, so definitely go to those if you can. The second part is a welcome reception. I would definitely say this is a requirement. If you don't get there by the welcome reception, you're missing kind of the main key piece of the symposium or conference environment, because that first one is where you really get to meet everybody and you can walk around. I know last year was this big room. It was called the Partner Pavilion, and basically had all the partners, had all the booths in it, and you just walked around. They had all these cool things that you could eat, different things based on New Orleans itself. I don't know exactly how it will go with Las Vegas. I don't know what distinct food options Las Vegas has, but I would assume that they'll have a wide variety of food options there at the reception that you can eat and talk to all these cool people. That would be the time to just start walking up to people and saying, "Hey, my name is blah blah blah," and what do you do with Sitecore, kind of thing. So definitely go to that. I would also try to make it out to all the lunches and breakfast sessions. Lunches, I think, are pretty obvious, but breakfast, try to make sure you're always up early enough to make the breakfast. All these sessions that you can get to, especially these breakfast and eating ones, you're at least last year, we were sitting at random tables. So you sit down and if you can just start striking up conversation with somebody next to you about Sitecore while you eat, that's a great idea. So, but obviously be professional when you're doing that as well. So if you chew loudly or things like that, you might want to be careful about that. Try not to talk with your mouth full of things like that. Try to be professional. The keynotes, those are obvious. There's some pretty big ones this year, and we have that new CEO who started at Sitecore, so definitely check those out if you can. those are not necessarily so much of a networking thing, but you get unique, insightful information about new things that are going on in Sitecore. Symposium party, I definitely recommend going to this. Last year it was at Hard Rock in New Orleans. It was awesome. I'm pretty much saying that about everything here, but I know there's a lot of people that didn't go to this last year. They really should have. Yeah, it's a party, and you think, oh well, I'm not. I know for a matter of fact, I'm an introvert, so going to parties and things like that is generally something I try to avoid in my normal life. But just think about it. A symposium, it's all Sitecore. You probably, I forgot what the statistics were, but 50% of the people that go to symposium are developers. Developers are typically introverts. I'm not saying they all are, but if a party's full of introverts, you're probably not going to be too much out of your comfort zone. I mean, sure, there'll be some things going on that you just are going to shy away from, but definitely go, and just at least go for, if you're not sure about it, just go for like 30 minutes and leave if you really don't want to go to it. Another thing that's really helpful with all this is if you can get a hotel room in the same place as the conference. So the Mirage is where it's at this year. If you can get a room in the same hotel as where the event is taking place, that's very useful. I don't know if the symposium party is actually in the same hotel or if it's somewhere else. I know last year it was somewhere else, so that makes it a little bit more challenging. You might not want to go there because it's further away. You have to take special transportation and things like that. So symposium party, very important. There's also some beer crawls and things like that going on. I can't remember his name. It's a Sitecore MVP that's was discussing doing a beer crawl on Sunday. If you can do that, you should definitely do that, especially if you're a developer trying to be an MVP like I am. Been trying to do that for years now. Do a beer crawl if you can. One thing I like to say is, and I think this is on one of my future slides, is connect via social channels to kind of meet up with MVPs or meet up with people in the community. If you're like me, you have a Twitter account where you've probably been connecting with these people for the entire year, but have never met them in person. It's a great way to kind of say, hey, so-and-so, do you want to meet up for a beer or something like that? And then you guys can meet up and you can get talking, and having that one-on-one connection can really help out. And there could be that situation if you're not wanting to necessarily meet an MVP, there might be people that are active in the community you just want to talk to. Like, for example, you might be a client, you've always wanted to talk to Michael Reynolds, for example, and you can then maybe try to contact him on Twitter just to see if he would be interested in meeting with you. Usually, if you give most developers free beer, they will definitely meet up with you, at least and just to talk to you for a little bit. Booths, if you're a Sitecore partner, you might think that visiting another partner's booth is not going to be a good idea, but I would actually say that's not necessarily the way you want to think about it. So, for example, I work for Aero Digital, which is a custom software boutique, and it might seem weird if I want to go out and talk to Hedgehog, which is another custom software company, is a partner with Sitecore. So it might seem weird that I want to go talk to them, but they actually have MVPs at their booths. It might make sense for me to go talk to them and maybe get to know a little bit about their software a little bit. For example, we work with TDS a lot. It might be useful to go over there and just start talking about TDS, the future of TDS, and things that are going on with TDS. And lastly, it might seem hard, especially if you're introverted like me, talking to random strangers and introducing who you are, and seeing, like I said, just say, hey, what do you do with Sitecore? What's your involvement? Are you more of a developer? Are you a marketer? Or are you just a strategist kind of thing? Just try to figure out what they do with Sitecore. I mean, just that's your primary goal going to this conference. If you strike up a good conversation, just exchange business cards if you can, and you might find that either if you're a partner, you might end up with a new client out of this, which is, I would say, less likely. But second, it's just somebody new that you can talk to. You have questions, especially if you're a developer talking to another developer, you might find that you have somebody new you can ask questions to. So step 2 or tip 2 is go to all the breakout sessions. This seems self-explanatory, but I find a lot of people miss these. I actually missed one last year. I had some client stuff that came up, and I actually had to miss one of the sessions. I wish I had been able to go to them all. There's a lot of topics from these breakout sessions. A lot of them are taught by Sitecore employees, so you get a lot of insight on some unique and new things coming up. There's going to be a lot on Azure. There's going to be a lot on various other things. These are developer sessions I'm referring to, but there's also marketing and one's geared towards content editors and things like that you also should go to. And as a developer, I should note this. If you're a developer, you don't have to just go to developer breakout sessions. You should maybe think about going to a marketing session. It's useful to know marketing as well as development if you're a developer. That's one skill set I see missing or lacking the most. But it will be hard to do that. I know there's a lot of great breakout sessions for developers. So yeah, there's an app that you can download. iOS or Apple is the only one that currently has the app. I heard rumors that the Android one was coming out soon. I'm a little stunned that the Android one isn't out and the only one is Apple currently. Last year, it was almost impossible to get into some of the breakout sessions without booking or going into the app and then saying, I want to go to this session. So I don't know if that's necessarily the case this year, and that the app is not really that required. You can use you can print out the PDF that they have of all the courses. I don't know. I don't know if you have to pre-enroll to those courses, but I assume since it's Las Vegas, last year they sold out. So this year it doesn't sound like they've sold out yet. So they must have a lot more bigger rooms to seat people. So courses shouldn't fill out or overbook, for example. So, or at least that's my hope. I hope it's not just us that use Android are going to be for a loss, whereas people that are on iPhones have an advantage to everybody else. That doesn't seem fair to me. But that's that. So, but if you can, just go out to as many breakout sessions as you can. I would prepare before you go too. I would make a list of maybe your first, second, and third choices for everything and come up with a schedule. Because if you don't, there's not a whole lot of time between the sessions. I mean, you can just walk into each session, or at least that's the case last year. Not all the sessions, some filled up, like I said. If you can plan, and then you don't have to worry about being late to any of the sessions, and you can watch the sessions all the way through. Tip 3 is one I suggested just before this, and that is just be active on social. Last year, they actually tried to encourage, via the app, here again, they try to encourage being active on social. They actually had the gamification process for the app. So as you did different events, or different things, you'd get points, and then at the end of the conference, they were giving giveaways based off what points you'd gotten. But I don't know if that's the case this year or not. It's hard to say. Hopefully, if you are for Sitecore and you're watching this video, let me know about Android, if that's coming out soon or before the conference. That would be very nice to know. But anyways, make sure you're active on Twitter or any of the channels that you have. If you don't have any channels, maybe it's time that you create a channel. Create your own Twitter channel. Do it before the conference. Start, just trying to add friends and things like that. And the next thing you know, use your experiences at the conference to give you opportunities to share, and let's say you go to a breakout session on Azure, you can kind of summarize it, post it on Twitter, maybe give credit to those that are presenting, especially if you can follow them while they're doing the session, and then just write up a quick message about how great the session was, and then just tag them, and that would be a great way to kind of connect you with that presenter, and then maybe they'll add you back or follow you or whatever the case may be. It's really awesome to see how you can connect social with some of these real live events. And the other one I mentioned previously was using social to meet new friends. So like some of us that are introverted, I'm not necessarily going to go and be able to find all the people I've talked to online that I've said I was going to meet them at Symposium. There's quite a long list. If you know of a dozen people online that you know of, what you can do is you can use Twitter or whatever your social channels are and say, hey, want to meet me at the Starbucks by blah, 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 and then you guys can all meet. You can meet that person at the Starbucks and just start chatting with them just for a few minutes. I mean, it doesn't have to be much. And it's those, like I said, those personal connections that you can make that can really lead to more opportunities down the road, whatever that opportunity is that you're looking for. Like I said, I mean, I'm kind of basing this for those that are trying to be MVPs or trying to be more active in the Sitecore developer realm, but it also applies to companies or employees for companies that want to find other opportunities. They might want to find a partner. They want to, just hear about third-party modules and things like that are being built by companies out there. These are great events to do that. Lastly, things you shouldn't do. So obviously, if you work for a company and they've sent you out there, they're obviously taking a huge investment by doing that. Usually, the conference itself is about $1,000 to $1,500, depending on if you're early bird or not. And then there's a hotel, and there's food, and the travel, and all of that's going to add up pretty quickly. So your company has probably invested several thousands of dollars on you. Don't go to the conference and then just go down to the blackjack tables and play that the entire time you're there. One, you're not really serving yourself that well. You're hurting your chances of learning and gaining new information about Sitecore, but also you're hurting your company. Your company is paying for you to learn and network, and then you're coming back and the only thing you've done is gambled all your money away. So don't do that. Don't drink too much and always be professional. Should be pretty obvious, but don't go to the symposium party and get completely trashed, because you're more than likely going to embarrass yourself in that scenario. And if you work for a partner, or even if you're an MVP, you're just going to embarrass yourself, and you're going to put yourself in a negative light. Especially as an MVP, I feel like an MVP should be looked up to. So if you're getting sloshed and you're just passing out or puking all over somebody, you're obviously you're not going to look that good, but you're probably making the institution of Sitecore MVP look not that good either. Although it has nothing to do with how much you drink or how much you don't drink. And obviously, if you're a Sitecore partner, you're always being looked at. So even if you're not going to get new clients at this conference, you might lose clients if you get completely drunk and you puke on somebody. If one of your clients is watching, they might take that very negatively towards you. So that's pretty much it. Those are the do's and the don'ts. There's a lot of things to do. One thing I really say is just have fun. Obviously, keeping the things you shouldn't do in mind. So don't have too much fun, but have fun in a professional manner. Meet a lot of people. If you love Sitecore like I do, and I spend all my time doing Sitecore, it's a great way to just network and talk about Sitecore nonstop. It's awesome. So lastly is just come meet me if you can. I know a lot of you, even if you just want to come by and say, great videos. I keep hearing that people love my video series. So if you have any suggestions on videos that you'd like to see, just come visit me. If you don't see me at the booth, because I work for Aero Digital, like I said, which we are a gold sponsor. I believe we are sponsoring one of the breakfasts that will be happening. So if you can't come by booth 309, just find me on Twitter, or even leave a comment on this video, and let's coordinate a time that we can meet. Like I said, I really just want to meet anybody I can. I'm really eager to meet MVPs specifically because I'm trying to obviously be an MVP myself, but I feel like I should know some MVPs. I know a few in person already, but I'd like to know more if possible. And even if you're a developer, you just want to meet somebody that's active in the community. let's meet. I'm open to meeting. Like I said, I love talking about Sitecore. I could talk about it all day. Just message me, or you can come by the booth if you want to learn more about Aero Digital and what we do. We're basically a Sitecore partner, gold partner. So come by our booth, learn about some of the sites we've done, the types of Sitecore implementations we've done. Come check us out if you can, or let's just personally try to make ways that we can meet. So, all right, that's pretty much the end of this video. If you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to add, let's say you think I missed a point, just include it in the comments below, and then can help benefit others that are going to be coming to Sitecore Symposium. All right, well, hopefully everybody has a great symposium. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And hopefully they continue this every year symposium so we can continue this every year in the future. And hopefully next year I'll be an MVP, which would be awesome, but we'll see. Thank you. Bye-bye.